Welcome to Art of. Today, we will transform this image into a cinematic science fiction shot. Ready? Let's go! As you see, we already have two layers. The main layer, which is the background one, and the moon exoplanet layer, which will be the background of the composition later. We will hide it for now. As the first step, we need to remove the sky from the background layer. I will duplicate it as I will keep the main as backup. Now we will use the Object Select tool. Just select the sky and press Delete. Now let's reveal the moon exoplanet layer and place it under the new layer. Then we will resize it to match the frame's size, and we need to pay attention to the perspective between the two layers. I think it looks like this. Let's rasterize the layer and fill the top blank part with the Content Aware tool. Here, there is an unpleasant contrast. The background is in a night mood, while the photo of the girl was shot during the day, so we need to fix that. As the first action, let's add a color lookup layer above the foreground. And set it to Night from Day Look. We need to apply it as a clipping mask since the background is already in a night mood. It starts to look better, but we need to enhance it more. We need more contrast and darker tones. Let's add a curve layer and decrease the brightness and apply it too as a clipping mask. I will use a radial gradient mask to pop up the girl slightly. Now, we will enhance the snow on the rocks by adding a curve layer again, applying it as a clipping mask, and increasing the brightness. Then we will use the color range to select the highlights by adjusting the fuzziness and the range. This will enhance the contrast on the foreground layer. We may readjust the curves to optimize the result. Once we are done, we will set those layers, which represent the foreground of the composition, in a group and rename it Subject. Now we will add some blur effects to the background. Let's transform it into a smart object and apply some Gaussian blur to it. I will set the radius to 5. We will use a linear gradient on the blur effects mask to feather the blur and keep it slightly on the top of the composition. Time to color grade the whole composition and transform it into a cinematic science fiction scene. As a start, we will add a curve above all layers. Here we will add more blue tint by adjusting the blue curve to enhance the night vibes from the exoplanet. We can still adjust the tint on the subject and match it more with the background. We will apply a curve layer as a clipping mask on it and adjust the blue curve. Let's add a color lookup layer. I will choose the Kodak 5218 by Adobe. I will decrease its opacity to 72%. We are almost done. Let's add new curves to enhance the contrast overall in the images. And finally, again, another curve layer to pop up the girl more. We increase the brightness, then invert the mask by holding Ctrl+I or Command+I on Mac. And we will use a radial gradient around her to pop her up slightly in the image. If you're still here, I will be so glad if you subscribe, as it encourages me to upload more content. You can check my content about Photoshop editing and color grading techniques. There will be more videos about editing and color grading on CapCut. And as always, may we meet again.